What's up, everybody? So, I want to talk to you about something that I've experienced in my life. There's been two times that God has spoken to me through dreams. One was, I think, around September 20th. I posted about it on Facebook. September 30th, right before the event happened. So I woke up from a dream. My dream was I was running down a green field with mountains and trees, and people were being shot at by machine gun fire, and I'm just running through this field, and there was hundreds, maybe thousands of people just running away from this machine gun fire. And I wake up and I physically speak out loud, October 1st. That's all that I said. I woke up out of a dream, say October 1st, that was it. It was eating away at me for a week or two. I talked to my boss about it. Just say, hey man, I had this crazy dream. I woke up and I said October 1st I was being shot at by machine guns and all that, and I woke out of my dream and I said the date physically out loud. My wife was still sleeping, but I remember it vividly to this day. I remember the dream, I remember the hills, I remember the trees, I remember everything. So October 1st comes around and the Vegas shooting happens. So let me back up. October 1st comes around and I'm waiting all day. I'm waiting for something bad to happen. Nothing bad happens. I go to sleep at like 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock that night, the Vegas shooting happens. I wake up the next morning. I find out about the Vegas shooting, the machine gun fire and everything. I said, holy shit. It was at that moment that I knew, God was real, because my Bible knowledge is very little, but I do know that in the end times that he's going to send dreams and visions to some people. And those are the only two dreams and dreams that I've had. I've not had any visions. The second dream was December 1st. I had a dream of all it was a bright white light. Brightest of bright white light. It was pure white light. It was whiter than white. It was so bright that it's really hard to explain. But I woke up and I said July 15th. July 15th rolls around. I got my gun with me. I got ammo. I'm ready for shit to go down. And I thought it was going to be the end of the world. I thought, thought the world was going to break out and the economy was going to collapse and all these bad things were going to happen. But on July 14th, me and my wife, we had sex. And so we had sex, and July 15th, nothing happens. We're going home. She's like, oh, Joey, I want to stop and get the Plan B pill because, we had sex last night, and, it was a little accident that happened. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I pull into Walgreens, and I'm at the parking lot, and I was like, Michelle, holy shit, today's July 15th. This is the bad thing that's going to happen. And I told her at that moment, I said, you're pregnant. Not only are you pregnant, you're pregnant with a son. I don't know how. And this might sound crazy, but I knew that she was pregnant. She had a boy. I don't know how I knew. I just knew. And I told her at that point, I was like, okay, well, if you still want to walk through those doors and you want to get the Plan B, I'll back you on that. But this is what that dream's about. You're pregnant and you have a boy. And God must have spoke to her and stopped her, and we got back in the car and we went home. 2 weeks later, she took a pregnancy test. She was pregnant. I walked into the doctor's office. I said, yeah, my wife's pregnant with a boy. And the doctor just looked at me. He's like, oh, you want a boy? I was like, no, I don't care. I don't care what I want, but I know it's a boy and I know she's pregnant. I was like, you mind just getting her tested so we could get her on the insurance and get everything started? He said, how do you know she's pregnant? I was like, I just know. I had a phone call. Let me swipe that. I told her, I said, I just know. And A couple months go by, we visit this doctor, and she's like, "Oh, you must really want a boy." I was like, "No, I really don't care what it is, but I'm telling you, it's a boy." And after they did the ultrasound, when they were able to tell if it was a boy or a girl, they originally told me, "Oh, it's a girl." I was like, "No, it ain't. It's a boy." And the doctor was laughing, and all of a sudden when I said, "No, it ain't. It's a boy," she just got really serious faced, and she's like, "How the fuck do you know?" I said, "I told you, I know that it's a boy. I knew she was pregnant from day one. I know it's a boy." She's like, "You don't care if it's a boy or girl?" I was like, "No, I don't, but I know that she has a boy." And she's like, "Yeah, you're right. She's pregnant with a boy." And that doctor was like dumbfounded, and then I explained to her about the dream and the second dream and everything, and she kind of got teary-eyed and everything. But those are the two times that in my life that God's spoken to me in a dream. So if I wasn't to have the first dream about the Vegas shooting, then the second dream would have no bearing on me to make a decision. I had to have that first dream. So that tells me that my son is important. For whatever reason, I don't know what he's going to do. I just know he's important. I've only shared to my wife about this. Obviously, she knows. My mom and dad know about it. And that's it. So I just thought I'd make this public. And I'm not some prophet. I'm not some person that God speaks to regularly. Up until 23 years of my life, I was an atheist. I was a bad person. I used to kick in doors. I used to do things to people that were really bad. I was not a good person. Today, I try to be a good person. But God has legitimately spoken to me 2 times in my life through those dreams. And then the other night comes. This is the first time I'm speaking about it to anybody. I didn't wake up. I didn't say a date. But I knew the first 2 dreams were different. Somehow I just knew they were. The other night comes. I'm in this house, and I hear this whistling above the house, and I'm like running outside, and I'm looking up in the sky, and I'm looking at what it is, and it's a fucking missile. And then here comes another one. There was two missiles. It was just loud. You could hear it, and a big nuclear explosion goes off. It's winter time wherever I'm at. Right here, it doesn't get that snowy, so it obviously wasn't here in my area. But it was winter time. It was in a residential neighborhood. It wasn't near apartments. It was near like a bunch of houses. A big explosion goes off, a nuclear explosion, big bright white light. I get blinded by it, and I wake up. So with what's going on in Ukraine, China, all that, it's probably going to develop into something bad, but that's not to say that things can't change. My son was on destiny to die. If I didn't have that dream, because I had that dream, I was able to change his destiny. He is now alive today. He is with us. That dream about the explosion, it doesn't mean that that's destined to happen. That means we have the capacity to change what happens as long as we listen when we're spoken to. And a dream of being spoken to versus a dream that is just a dream is very different. If you've had these dreams, you know the ones that are something greater talking to you versus just a regular dream. They're 2 different things. They're completely different. You wake up with a feeling of importance, that dream meant something, that dream is real, it's going to come to fruition, versus it was just a dream. But that's the first time sharing about that. So I really hope that the end isn't coming, because it doesn't have to come. The end is spoken in the Bible. It's not. There's no time slate on it. There's no scheduled time for the end. If it is soon, then that's cool, because I know where I stand. But I really hope it isn't. And I know, because of these dreams, that a few are sent. It could change the world. I know because my son's alive. When normally I would have went into Walgreens, I would have encouraged her to get the Plan B. I didn't want to have another kid. We had a daughter that was 1 year old. I didn't want to have another kid, but I knew that God sent me that dream, and I pulled into Walgreens on that day for a specific reason, and I knew that he was supposed to live, and he had an important life to live, and he's going to do important things. So, that being said, I don't think the end's going to come necessarily in my lifetime, but maybe in my son's lifetime. I know there's probably many years left to live because he's important. Why else make him live rather than him die? He's going to do important things, whatever it is. It might be something very simple, very small, that changes the course of humanity. You never know what polite, nice thing you could say to somebody at a young age that might change what they do 10 years from now. Not to say my son's going to do something miraculously great or something huge, but you might say something just nice to one person who needs to hear it on a specific day that will change the course of humanity. So, with that said, I'll leave you go. I love you guys. Have a good day.